My name is Quinn Wickham. I'm a proposal manager from Arizona State University. In this particular demonstration, I want to show you something about using Zotero reference management in both Google Docs and Microsoft Word. What prompted this particular demonstration is that we have a challenge in that collaborative teams often like to use Google Docs so that they can all contribute to a particular document. But the final editing and formatting is often done by moving the Google Doc into Microsoft Word by the PI or a smaller group of the PI and his/her team. Reference management is then complicated by the transition between the Google Doc and MS Word. But what I'm going to show you in this demonstration is that by using Zotero, you can actually seamlessly do reference management in the Google document and then transfer it into Microsoft Word. So there's a few assumptions that I want to make before this demonstration. One is that the Google Doc users have access to a shared Zotero library. The second is that they've downloaded the Zotero desktop application and that it's connected to that shared reference library. And the third is that they have a Zotero connector downloaded for the preferred browser they'll be using for the Google documents. Now, I found that Chrome is actually one of the best browsers to use if you're going to be using Google Documents. So that's just a recommendation. All the instructions, references, downloads are actually available through the Zotero website. And these will be listed in the blog that this video is connected to. What I'm going to start with is a blank document here. And for purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to paste in some example text. Now, as you can see that I have my Zotero library open, and I'm assuming that it's connected in some way to the shared library that this team will be using. I'm not going to go into actually how the users will be adding references to the library. That is kind of another topic, and that is something that there are plenty of resources for demonstrating how that's done. In this case, we're going to start with the bottom of this first paragraph here and start adding on some references. If you'll notice that because I've added the Zotero connection to this, Zotero shows up as a menu item. We'll add the citations. One of the first things it's going to ask is what the citation style that you want to use as. I'll leave it as nature. Say OK. And then I get a search bar that is connected to my library, to the shared library. And I can start looking for particular citations here. Takes a couple of seconds to add the citations. I'm going to move it down, add another citation. One thing you'll notice is that I cannot see what my citations are referencing to. So shortly after you start adding these, you will want to add a bibliography to this document. Go to the bottom of the document to add your bibliography. Make sure your cursor is placed at the end of the document. It will automatically add those references that I've cited in here. And as I add more references, it will continue to update the bibliography, including changing the numbers if items have been added between other citations. But for this demonstration, let's assume at this point that most of the contributions have been added by your team. And you're ready at this point to transfer this document into Microsoft Word so that you can finish some of the final formatting before this is going to be submitted to the agency, funding agency. One of the first things they suggest then is that you make a copy of this. And it will change the document. So it is a really good idea to make a copy. So we'll leave it as called copy of shared document. And I'll say OK. Now I'm in the copy of the shared document. So the first thing I will do is pull down the Zotero menu, and I will switch word processors. It's going to ask me if I want to convert the citation so that it can be transferred to another word processor. Click Continue. And the first thing you'll notice is that those citations have been changed into metadata. I'm going to download this as a Microsoft Word document. And then I'm going to open that downloaded document. When I installed the desktop client, it automatically connected the desktop client to my Microsoft Word application. And so now there is a Zotero menu item. If you'll notice, the downloaded document includes that metadata for the citation information. Go to Zotero, click on Refresh, and it's going to ask me here, would you like to restore the citations in this document? Select Restore Citations, and what it's done is it turned that metadata into the reference citations, and it includes at the bottom the bibliography. I can continue to edit this particular document, adding more references as needed, removing them, and it will continue to update the bibliography as needed. So what we've seen in this demonstration is that we've started with a Google document that could have been shared across multiple investigators across different institutions. As long as they have a shared Zotero library, they can continue to add references into the Google document. When you're ready to transfer that Google document into Microsoft Word, you're able to do that and preserve the references and the bibliography, and then continue to edit that later as needed. Thanks for watching this demonstration.